The second best pop punk band of all time is Green Day. Green Day shaped the genre with Dookie. Many people attribute pop punk becoming a thing as a whole to Dookie. Also, in the 2000s, they massively repopularized pop punk with American Idiot. That album was everywhere, and it made the genre become number one chart topping, and Green Day were at the forefront of both of those kind of revolutions. The reason they don't get first for me is because a lot of their older work is really good, but I feel like they've had some big duds as well. Ooh. In more recent years, a lot of their albums have not been anywhere near as good as the quality of previous work, so that's why they don't get number one, but that does not change the fact. Some of the big bangers that they've had throughout the year, obviously American Idiot in itself, Basket Case, I'm going to use one of your words, it's a seminal pop punk song. Everyone that likes the genre knows about Basket Case. Boulevard of Broken Dreams, a bit more of a sing-along, really fun. There's the version that's with Holiday as well, which is fantastic. But if you look at Green Day are one of the few bands in the world, never mind just pop punk bands. If you look at their top 10 songs on any streaming service, on YouTube, whatever you look at, most fans of rock music will know 8 of them. Mm-hmm. Genuinely, it is absolutely wild. There's just so many that are so good, and they've consistently toured. They're one of the best live bands as a whole. A lot of pop punk artists aren't as good live as they are on the recordings, and I think it's down to that whiny voice, and you know, a lot of them are kind of delinquents a lot of the time. But Green Day live, massive. Sell out stadiums around the world, have done for years. They put in a good performance. You sent me the other day on the latest set list is 30 plus songs. Heavyweights of the game. Number 2.
Number 2 for me, Green Day. Of course it is. Of course it is. Because they're just not as good as Simple Plan. So they have to come in at number 2. So the American Idiot cycle is the biggest that a pop punk band arguably has ever been. It genuinely is. Like you were saying there, when that was released, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing radio play. You couldn't have anybody in your school would have heard it. Even the people that shunned the people that were like more emo-y, you know, that emo sect in school, they loved that shit. But then the people shunning them, they loved that shit as well. It should have bonded. It didn't, but it should have bonded people at that point. And modern pop punk wouldn't look the way that it does now without Green Day doing what they did back then. In the, like you were saying with Dookie, absolutely fantastic album. And then American Idiot as well. Those 2 albums in themselves, fucking insane. Dookie changed the rock scene from grunge to pop punk. Like, it just came in out of nowhere, and it all went from grungy, like, depressy kind of sounds to this fun, happy, party, skater, kind of pop punky. And I think the other thing that it kind of tied into was, like, the whole uptick of extreme sports, like BMXing and snowboarding. It really was around that time, and that music just lent itself to that kind of stuff so well.
It was like a whole new wave of music videos and MTV and everyone getting behind it, and Jackass and everything, it all tied together. It was that like 90s, early 2000s vibe.
And the political message that they carried through on American Idiot was, you know, that stuck to their punk roots as well. And you get some fucking, I guarantee there'll be people out there that will say Green Day aren't pop punk because they're political. You can't be political and be pop punk. And I just think, bollocks. That's bollocks. That's nothing to do with it, in my opinion. But, you know, each to their own. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the Saviours Tour because, like you just mentioned there, they did their first night. They've been doing this at festivals, but nobody knew if they were going to carry it to the Saviours Tour that's happening. They play one song that's off a new one that says "Thank God for America" or something. I don't know what it is. I didn't really listen to the newer stuff. But they are then playing Dookie in full from top to bottom, followed by American Idiot in full from top to bottom. And then to top it off, the songs, because I was like, oh, but then that's a great set. I was like, you can't get a better set list than that. But only if they had, you know, Minority in there or Good Riddance. And they're right at the end. So they'll do the first track, they'll do the whole of Dookie, they'll do Bleed American, wrong one, American Idiot, and then they just finish it off with two of their other great tracks, Minority and Good Riddance.
They know what they're doing. This is what I'm saying, live, it's hard to beat Green Day.
I don't think there's many bands that can get people that excited about playing two albums in full. Mm-hmm. Like, the mass amount of people that are going, and I've got tickets to this fucking tour.
Have you?
Yeah.
Since when?
What do you mean?
Did you get? Oh, you little snake.
Well, I told you about this a long time ago. What do you mean, nah?
No, it's who got you the last Green Day ticket?
You didn't get me it.
I gifted you it, actually.
You didn't gift me it.
Yeah, but there were loads of people.
You don't charge people for a gift, bro.
You do when it's a gift that good.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, and I'm very looking forward to that.
Yeah, I might get a ticket. Are you standing? Manchester?
Probably seated. Going with the oldies.
Oh, right. Knees are cracking a bit.
Yeah.